These are a few questions related to the lesson on double and half angle identities. In these questions, you are given an information sine x equals minus 3 over 5 and a condition angle x is in the third quadrant. You are asked to find cosine 2x, sine 2x, and later on we're going to ask about sine x over 2 and cosine x over 2. So as you can see here, we have cosine double angle, and here we have sine double angle. So we have to use the identity for cosine double angle. What is the identity for cosine double angle? Cosine 2x equals one of them. There are three identities, all of them equivalent. I'm going to mention one of them here. 1 minus 2 sine squared. Sine squared x. Okay. Now we use this identity. Just substitute sine x with the value given, minus 3 over 5, as you can see. So we get cosine 2x equals 1 minus 2 times, use a bracket, minus 3 over 5 squared. Okay, and do your calculation to get cosine 2x equals 7 over 25. So you get 7 over 25. Just do your calculation and you get this answer. So this is cosine 2x. As you can see, as simple as this. You just use the identity, this identity that you must memorize. So cosine 2x equals 1 minus 2 sine squared x. This is a double angle identity in terms of a single angle x. Okay. Now we go to part B, sine 2x. There is an identity for sine 2x. It says sine 2x equals 2 sine x cosine x. So to use this identity, you need the value of sine x and the value of cosine x. Okay. The value of sine x is given here in the question, minus 3 over 5. Just substitute your value in the identity, so you get sine 2x equals 2 times minus 3 over 5 times cosine x. This is exactly minus 6 over 5 cosine x. Now we need to find the value of cosine x. To be able to find the value of cosine x, we again use the information given, sine x equals minus 3 over 5, in many ways. For instance, we can use sine square x plus cosine square x equals 1, Pythagorean identity, and substitute sine with the value given, minus 3 over 5, substitute it here, so you get minus 3 over 5 squared plus cosine squared for x equals 1. This gives you cosine squared x equals 1 minus the square of minus 3 over 5, which is 9 over 25. Okay, 9 over 25. Simplify this to get 25 minus 9, which is 16. 16 over 25. Okay, now 16 over 25 needed to be square rooted to get cosine x. So cosine x equals square root of 16 of 25, which is 4 over 5, plus or minus. How to decide on the sign if it is plus or minus? Just look at the condition, this condition here. X is in the third quadrant. That means the cosine for an angle in a third quadrant more than 180, or exactly between 180 and 270. Cosine of any angle between 180 and 270 is negative, so you get this. If you are having a difficulty to remember the sign of cosine in the third quadrant or any quadrant, is very simple. Take your calculator and calculate cosine any value in the third quadrant, such as 200 for example, and look at the answer. You get a negative answer. Okay, so that means the cosine is negative. That would help you if you are allowed to use a calculator anyway. Now we found the value of cosine. We just plug it here in our last working here. We stopped here before we start finding cosine. We found cosine, we just plug it here, and we get sine to x. So sine to x equals minus 6 over 5 times cosine, which is minus 4 over 5, multiply to get 24 over 25. This is cosine sine to x. Another thing I need to talk about, there is another way to find cosine x. Instead of this way, instead of this, I'm going to show you another way. You can just use a triangle, okay, and use the values for given here, sine x equals minus 3 over 5. Just take the absolute value, call one angle x in your triangle. The opposite would be 3. The hypotenuse would be 5, because sine any angle is opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, and then we need to find adjacent, so you can calculate the cosine. Just use Pythagoras theorem. So you get 3 squared plus a squared equals 5 squared. And by solving this, you get your a. So a would come up as 4. Just solve this. 25 minus 9 equals 16, and then square root it to get 4. So your adjacent is 4. And then calculate your cosine. So cosine x would be adjacent over hypotenuse. And then decide on the sign using the third quadrant. That gives you a negative cosine. So you can see here 2 ways to overcome this issue to find the value of cosine. Here we are, we solved the 2 problems. One of them is for cosine to double angle, and the other one is for sine double angle. Now we go to half angle identity. Okay, for half angle identity, we have this question: find sine x over 2, which is a part C of our problem. Now you need to remember the rule for sine half an angle, x over 2. This is equals plus or minus square root of a fraction over 2, and then 1 minus cosine x. This is your identity to memorize. Okay, now to calculate this, we need the value of cosine. The value of cosine was found in the previous working in part B, cosine x, as minus 4 over 5. Let me check that. Cosine x here. You can see cosine x here. We found it. Minus 4 over 5. Okay. So We just substitute this value in your identity, cosine x. So what do we get? We get sine x over 2 equals plus minus square root of 1 minus cosine, which is minus 4 over 5. Okay, all over 2. Simplify this to get plus minus square root. Now minus and minus is plus, so that gives me plus. Okay, and then 5 plus 4, 5 plus what? 4 over 5, and then over 2, that makes it over 10. Okay, so this is equals to plus minus square root of 9 over 10. Okay, now what is the sign? Is it plus or minus? We have to go back to the condition. This is your condition. X is in the third quadrant. What does mean X in the third quadrant? That means that X is, let's write it down here, X is between 180 and 270. Okay, this time we're looking for sine x over 2. That means half x. So we divide by 2. So we get x over 2. Divide everything by 2. You get your angle x over 2 between 90 and 270 over 2, 135. Okay, now when the angle is between 90 and 135, what is the sign of sine this angle? This is the second quadrant, 90 and 1. The sign is positive. So here we take the positive sign. Positive. Okay. Now we go to the other part, cosine x over 2. The formula is cosine x over 2 equals plus minus square root of 1 plus cosine x over 2. That's your identity for cosine x over 2. Okay. Now just substitute cosine x with the value minus 4 over 5 again. So you get square root of 1 minus 4 over 5 all over 2. This would simplify to 1 over 10. 5 minus 4 is 1 over 5 and over 10. So this is equal, we said plus minus, okay, square root of 1 over 10, which is exactly plus minus square root of 10 over 10. Now, decide on the sign. X over 2 again is between 90 and 135, second quadrant. What is the sign of cosine? Quadrant. In this case, cosine, the angle should be negative. So we get cosine x over 2 equals minus square root of 10 over 10. That's your final answer. And this is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching and come again.